Hello, hello. So today we're going to be talking about habits, or I'm going to call it atomic habits because I want to recommend a book. I want to recommend this book. It's always a problem with this, isn't it? Getting the camera. There we go. Uh, Tiny Changes, Remarkable Results, and the book is by James Clear. Best book I've read on habits. Well worth buying, well worth reading. I've read it 3 or 4 times, I think, actually. I'm still getting stuff out of it. But this is a really important session today because, we had that session where we were thinking about goals and plans, and that's all very good, really important to get your direction. But really, without building habits, that's all a waste of time. And habits are really what makes us. We are creatures of habit, and unfortunately, we either have good ones or bad ones, and sometimes it can even be addictions, which are habits that are out of control, really, if you want to think of it like that. So we need good addictions, don't we? So I'm kind of addicted to composing, actually. So it's something I have to do. It's regular. So I've developed a habit that's become a way of life. And we're going to talk about that because this is the key. Now, as believers and Christians, some of us are better at this than others, aren't we? Some of us are more self-disciplined. Some of us, creatives tend to be, and in some ways, maybe this, I'm not sure, this maybe, I don't want to be that categorical, but um, creatives tend to be less disciplined because we love trying new things. We love new things, starting new things. So often we can allude, we can be a bit not that self-disciplined sometimes, and that's what really makes us as creatives, I believe. If you look at anybody who's successful in business or any area, it's actually their self-control and self-discipline that's actually got them there largely, not just talent. The problem is talent's not enough, is it? It's the ability to apply yourself that's going to really help you win. So yes, I recommend this book because today this is quite a just a short teaching, but the book really gets into um, some real depth. So this is really an overview. This is really to help you think. And one of the habits you've already imbibed is a good one. Is the habit of coaching. Actually coming to something regularly like this will mean that you're probably more likely to succeed. Uh, because you can have a wish and a dream, wish to get fit and all those things, but if you don't attend the gym, you're not going to get there. It's an illusion, isn't it? And the good news is as well as believers, we're not on our own. We have the Holy Spirit to help us as well. Plus, self-control is a fruit of the Spirit, so we can ask the Holy Spirit to help us and give us discipline. And so. Uh, so many people don't know. They'll start the new year and they'll want to get fit. Uh, and an aspiration and a dream and a goal isn't enough because it's the tiny steps. That's what the book is about. Atomic habits, atomic small. It's the tiny steps that you make that get you there. So it's often it's and those tiny steps are often things that you're habitually doing, that you're regularly doing. So like again, fitness, if you're working out 3 times a week regularly, developing a habit, you're likely to get fit. Um, and so many people start and they can't keep it up. And we're going to talk about some of that today. One of the things that the book really illustrates really well, and I think this is really important as well, is that often we're focusing on the what as well. So what we want to achieve, but we're forgetting who we are becoming and why. So, if we're an artist and we're not creating regularly, we're not really an artist, are we? If I'm not composing regularly, I'm not really a composer. Um, so we've got to see ourselves as, the final entity. And often people who are addicted they identify with their addiction, don't they? I'm a smoker. I'm a heroin addict. None of us are that, I hope. But they actually identify with that image of themselves. And one of the good keys is to see themselves, um, the opposites. That's where it starts. So you just do you see yourself as an artist? Write that down. Or do you see us, sometimes we see ourselves as a bit of a fraud, don't we? Because we're saying one thing and doing another. Um, but yeah, so and in music, if you have to practice, don't you? If you want to be a pianist, if you want to be a good piano player, well, you have to practice. It doesn't just happen overnight. We all know this, but it's the small steps, the atomic habits that get us to that goal. So think about this. Uh, so and it is good to write down, maybe write it down now. What's think about the habits that you have right now. So think about the bad ones. Let's think about one bad habit and one good habit you already have. Okay, just write those down. Think of that for a minute. And then think of a new good habit you want to develop. What habit would you like to develop? Because that good habit could replace that bad habit, couldn't it possibly? Um, but we become our habits, don't we? Become what we're doing regularly is what we become, really. Um, so, and think about this. If you call yourself a Christian, then it's really where's the proof of that? The proof of that is what you do, isn't it? Is what you're doing regularly. Is that's how it works, isn't it? Really, it's not just you can say something, you can believe it, but actually it's the actions that you take that are the proof of what you believe. Um, so the other thing to think about as well is think about the why. So why do you for example, if you want to get fit, well, why? There could be really good reasons, and if you've got a good reason for getting fit, say if you put on more weight, you're going to get diabetes. That can be quite a good reason, can't it, for developing that habit fast. So having a reason, writing that down, and one thing I've noticed as well is that small decisions that you make can have huge repercussions. So think about some small, some decisions you need to make that are going to create bigger opportunities. Often we get stuck where really we're not stuck because there's no opportunity. We're not taking an opportunity that's there in front of us. For example, one thing that's happening to me right now is that God spoke to me about going back to a physical church, which I didn't really want to do, but I've done, and it's released a whole um, vista, new relationships, and new opportunities. So get into the habit of just going to church every week can be a good habit. Even though sometimes there's bad days and good days, it's consistency, isn't it, for all of us? Sometimes you do things and one day it's great, other days it's not so great. But if we're only driven when it's great, then we're not going to develop a habit, are we? So sometimes like if you're getting fit, you don't feel like getting up and going to the gym or going for a run or something like that. Those are the days where you've got to push on through to develop the habit. So you get up to do your art and you don't feel like doing it. That's the very day, if you break through, you're more likely to develop that habit because you pushed on through, even though it didn't feel great. But yeah, I challenge you as well to think about, is there any opportunities you're missing? So I've also joined a choir as well. So because again, it opens up a new vista of opportunity. So look for the small decisions that might result in new habits. Because the best way to develop is to overcome old bad habits, actually, is develop new ones that take the place of them. Because then you're changing your identity of who you are, because you are the sum total of all the habits, really, all the things you do regularly, good and bad. Um, Here's another key as well. Um, Fran wants me to take vitamins every day. So the way that works for me is they're in the kitchen, they're in an obvious place, and um, so they're all laid out. But that's not just enough for me. So that's a good start. So if you want to develop a habit, make it easy. Make it easy. So, for example, just to not getting devoted, but for me, for example, I compose regularly because I've got two pianos, and one of the cheaper piano I got in my lounge is really easy to switch on. Is there in front of me, reminds me, and I sit down and play, and often I'll play for longer because it just becomes a bit of a habit, and often then the ideas flow. So make it easy, make it easier for yourself, make it obvious to jog your memory. I've got distracted with what I was going to say. Coming back to back to the vitamins. So they're an obvious place, but what made them even more what's the word? Helped me to take them every day is the fact that they're actually labeled as well. So they've got a label on them, what they're for. So because I know what they're for, it again helps me. It doesn't just, I'm just not taking a load of pills, but I know why. That's coming back to the why. So if you know the why you're doing it, that'll also help you um, keep going. And of course, when the thing to do as well is when you do not, when you aren't consistent with a habit as well, is don't stop at that point, but then push through back again. Don't give up at that point. That's what a lot of mistake, isn't it? People give up at that point when the going gets tough. Start again, having another go, because it's hard developing habits. It's really hard having self-discipline. Having others do it with you as well was going to really help. That's why coaching is great, isn't it? Because we're developing a habit together. This is regular every week, and you start to get into a good habit of moving forward. And the people who don't do that are generally the ones that don't make it, because it's very hard, isn't it, to do a course or whatever on your own. But when you've got other people around you as well doing the same thing, find others as well that are developing the same habit as you. Maybe that's artists. If you create together rather than on your own, that might be a clue as well as to developing a habit. Uh, One of the other things as well is, and I kind of touched on this as well, is the environment is going to help you as well, or distract you. So if you're an artist, you want to create an environment which you go to, you sort of kind of look forward to, that is going to be conducive to your habit. So make it easy. So have your tools there. So if it's such an effort to get started, then it's gonna be hard to develop that habit, isn't it? If you make it easy for people to get started. So yeah, so I think I've covered most of this. We'll obviously have a discussion about this and find out where we're at. But yeah, just think about the goal you want to what you want to do, and this is the thing about atomic habits: is can start small, is 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 realistic, isn't it? And if you can achieve one small thing and move forward, then you can build on that. Often we're trying to, we're trying to do something too fast or too quick, and we're trying to do something bite off more than we can chew. We're trying to become a concert pianist, and we can't even play Bar Bar Black Sheep yet. So you know and everybody starts off, don't they? Everybody starts off the same. Everybody starts off the same, and it's really the consistency and the practice that enables us to get to the goal, not just the talent. Obviously, talent probably get you a bit faster there because you have a natural affinity and ability. Let me just so what have we said? And hopefully that's helping you think. So just think about, again, just as we finish, just think about, well, what what are the habits you really want to develop? And also think about the habits you really want to get rid of that probably are just a distraction. Thanks for watching.